Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us here at Banknote Trading, where we take a look at the US dollar pairs and the Forex market. Today, we'll start by taking a look at Euro USD on the 4-hour chart. Go ahead and map out the current range. It's still the higher low as prices continue to this swing structure is bullish, but price is starting to retrace. I did mark out this channel that it was in, still kind of in this channel, descending channel. If you want to look at it that way, there is liquidity building over these highs. Hasn't come back down into premium discount. Doesn't have to in order for it to continue. Like I said, liquidity sitting over these highs. This demand area and this demand area could be good targets to see any type of bullish momentum shift in order to target the highs of the overall range. And again, it only depends on fundamental news with the DXY. Without this channel, you can see that prices. That supply is in control. Of course, this was support that was holding up, but sellers have started to break down past this. Not an enthusiastic closure under this support, but still, like I said, supply is in control from this area, and prices are starting to consolidate sideways. I'm looking for any type of trade right now until I do see any type of momentum shift up towards those highs and taking any type of buying opportunity on it, because the swing structure is bullish. Internal structure is not bullish. Like I said, supply is in control. Market structure starting to break down, also bearish. So not looking at any type of seller buy right now until we see a decision made after this consolidation. Does retrace back down, only looking for a type of bullish momentum shift back towards the highs of the overall range. And GBP USD, this will trace back further. Let's go map out the current range on a 4-hour chart. As we know, as we've been saying, after this Wyckoff spring, a liquidity sweep spring, whatever you want to call it, came back, formed this new structure. Prices started to break down. Overall swing structure is bullish. Internal structure started to be bearish. This demand area didn't hold up. Liquidity is building over these highs and has retraced back down. Prices started to retrace back down, all the way back down to the discount. This is an area of demand. This sell before the buy. Prices are in that area right now, but there is no bullish momentum shift right now. Buyers haven't stepped back in from this area, so if it does take out this higher low, then I'll be considering this a bearish chart, even though this accumulation pattern did play out. Wyckoff accumulation pattern did play out. We're not looking at any type of fundamental news on the dollar, because the dollar is starting to still rally up, but it could start retracing back at any moment now in this week. But there's liquidity sitting over these highs. If there is any type of turnaround, I'll be looking for any type of potential buyers when they step back in with momentum shift toward the highs, just like with Euro USD. But like I said, if it does start to break down, I'll be bearish on GBP USD. Let's go. This is AUD USD. Sorry. Let's go map out the current range on this 4-hour chart. Technically, this did retrace back down. What we were saying last week, it did break structure, came back down to this area of demand. Buyers did step up, started taking, I said last week, there was liquidity sitting with these highs. And as this demand area continued to push, well, form a new demand area in premium, it didn't retrace back down to the discount. This support area held up. This demand area, buyers stepped back in, then it formed a new demand area. And that from that demand area, prices started to push higher and take out the liquidity and technically form a new structure. But since prices came back down, it wasn't an enthusiastic close over these highs. Technically, you can say on the 4-hour chart that this was the low that broke these highs, so this is the new range. But since prices have come back down and back into this range, I'm just going to keep it since it wasn't really a big retracement and back down to discount. I'm going to keep this the range. But prices are starting to consolidate sideways now that this has been taken out. Looking for any type of demand is still in control. Swing structure bullish, fractal structure bullish, internal structure still bullish. There's still this demand area. Like I said, it came out of this demand area and still in control. Demand still in control. Obviously, market structure broke to the upside, but since, like I said, it didn't enthusiastically close above these highs. I mean, technically all bullish on all fronts, but yeah, probably is room for a retracement But just looking to see if these ties can be targeted. Then I'll be waiting for any type of retracement after this breakout to look for any type of bullish momentum shift in order to target higher prices. NZD USD. Let's go ahead and map out the current range. It's a little more bearish than AUD USD. It's played out the Wyckoff accumulation spring, formed this new structure, broke structure to the downside. Once sellers step back in, there's liquidity forming over these highs. This little area of demand was not held up, and this entire sell before the buy is an area of demand. So prices are consolidating technically in this area. It has come back down to discount, looking for any type of bullish momentum shift to target the highs of the overall range. But right now, this supply is in control, but it's not really breaking past this area of support that's now forming. Structure is technically breaking down to the downside. Like I said, sellers are in control because it's supply area, but no enthusiastic close. But this was an impulsive move, but we want to see more of a retracement. But technically, overall, just looking for any type of buying opportunity because swing structure bullish. Fractal structure bearish, internal structure bearish because starting to break down. Clearly, the structure starting to break down. But like I said, overall, this demand area, we look for a bullish momentum shift from that demand area, but it could go ahead and target these lows. If it does, then we'll be looking to change bias to bearish for NZD USD. Let's go ahead and look at GBP AUD. This ended up playing out on Friday when I don't make videos, but I've been saying this for weeks. This was consolidating sideways. Let's go map out the current range. Saying for weeks, it's been consolidating sideways, respecting this strong higher low. Prices would react from this trend line. We're saying overall the string structure is bearish. It's waiting for any type of bearish momentum to pick up. Unless it's towards consolidating, prices buyers will step back in. But then once structure broke to the downside, I said be careful for this trend line. But once it broke past this trend line, started to target the lows of the overall range. Hasn't broken past these this May low, but I expect it to because, like I said, overall string structure has been bearish, internal structure bearish, fractal structures actually starting to go bullish slightly, but maybe this can retrace possibly back up to this trend line, but any type of retracement, I'll be looking for any type of selling opportunity to target the lows of the overall range. So congratulations to anybody that caught this. Been looking at this for weeks, but these pairs tended to these cross pairs tended to just consolidate for a while. GBP NZD, not as bearish as AUD. GBP AUD. Let's go map out the current range. So overall range, and it's continued to consolidate. As prices continue to respect the lower trend line, buyers will step back in, and then prices will go back into premium. And technically, these highs of this move hasn't been tapped into or taken out. So technically, this is another trend line squeezing prices in between these two areas. But unlike GBP AUD, this hasn't gone back and tested these lows, tested this trend line, but I expect it to. If there's no fundamental news that would be in the contrary, but obviously prices came back in. Swing structure bearish, fractal buyers will step back in, pushing prices to premium. Sellers reacted from that. This area of supply is in control. So internal structure bearish, now consolidating sideways, but it did break structure to the downside with no momentum close. So still this area is holding up. I think this area of support is holding up, but as you can see, structure did break down to the downside. So internal structure bearish, swing structure overall bearish, still looking to target the lows of the overall range, just like with GBP AUD. And that's all I have for you today. Thank you for joining us.